Okay, can you guys hear me now? Testing one, two, three. Okay, there it is. All right. As far as thank you. Thank you for attending the webinar last night. The echo is coming from the fact that I turned on the I think I had two audio sources on at the same time. So give me a second to make sure that's turned off. It looks like it is. Okay, we should be good now. If you still hear the echo, let me know, but otherwise we should be good to go. So yeah, I'm obviously not at my usual location. I'm broadcasting from one of the offices I have in Chicago, and as of Friday, I will be doing my last broadcast in Chicago, or at least as a regular broadcast, and I'll be starting up on Monday from Miami. So just to give you guys a heads up, it'll be a slightly different location, but everything else will be basically the same. All right. So that being said, there was a question about whether or not the webinar last night was recorded. It is recorded, and you should get an email with that replay, I guess, in a day or two. I forgot. I don't do that part of it. I just, I'm the person that talks about it, but I don't know how they schedule that. But you'll be getting an email about that at some point soon. All right. But if you're a part of our program already, you have any questions about it, just call your account representative and they can go over the details with you for options. And we are now literally the only company out there that's giving people funded accounts for options. That is literally true. That's something that I wanted to happen a long, long time ago, but it took a while to really put together all the pieces for it. But we have the right team. Obviously, we have a great team with fantastic options trading success. So therefore, we felt like it was the right time, and we just had to get the right setup, and we do. So now we've offered that to everyone. But as they said in the webinar, as I said, I should say, remind you guys that there is a limited enrollment for that, and there will be a cutoff for enrollment. Um, I believe it should be tonight at 11:59 p.m. Eastern. So if you have any interest in that, be sure um, to call your account representative or call the help desk for Funder. And if you don't know who to call for Funder, just go to our website, chat with one, go to the chat, and someone will be able to assist you or call us, one or the other. All right, so let me jump right into the topic today, which of course is what was moving yesterday. So let's take a look. We did have a few stocks that did pretty well. Like I said, just call. Well, if you're just joining, then yeah, you can become a funded options trader or stocks or potentially both. So if you're already part of our program, just contact your account representative, et cetera, and then they'll be able to answer that, Gary. Um, so if you don't know who that is, just ask the help desk. They can refer you to. But let me just stay on topic here. So first up, we got Upstart UPST, which was able to reach 61.63, target number two. Topped out at 65.98, so it blew way past that target. Very good move there for UPST. Obviously, we identified this earlier in the session. APLD able to reach 1081. 1006 was actually target number two, so it just blew past that as well. Um, Next up, let's see, we have AMD, which was not a fantastic performer, but it did reach target number one, 113.50, topped out just above 114. It did take a while to get there. Obviously, this would be a stock that would have been pretty straightforward with an options trade. It was a little trickier with the stocks trade, but either way, it performed. Next up, we've got NVIDIA, NVDA. Now, this one was a rocket at the beginning of the day, easily passing target number one at 458.22. We, of course, identified that in the process of moving in that direction. Then it topped out somewhere around 462. Wasn't able to get far past target number one, however, as you can see, it got stuck there. RXRX was a bit of a disappointment. It did move well at the beginning of the day, and it showed signs that it really wanted to take off. But after hitting target number one at 1503, it topped out at 1522 and then came back down all the way to where it started the day. So obviously you could go long and short that stock, but it would have been nice if it could get into a really nice trend in either direction. But instead, it just had a sharp move up, then a sharp move down, which is exploitable. But obviously, as I always mentioned in the coaching room, always go for the low hanging fruit first. Don't go for the things that are more difficult. All right, Riot. Riot blockchain was able to reach 1827, target number one. It went in a straight line to that. Then after that, it almost went, well, actually did good. It went about three-fourths of the way to target number two. Target number two was 1899. I was actually watching that as that happened, but it never got to target number two. It topped out at 1884, but still a very good move. Um, let's see what else. ELBM, which was one of the cheaper stocks. This one was able to go up from $2 to 266 on the high. Then after that, that was it. It did consolidate for a while. There was the appearance that it may break out again, but fortunately, it showed its cards very clearly and broke down. So you got to credit the stock for at least not giving you any hope. Just it didn't go anywhere. It just sold off. That's good. That's what you want. You don't want something that acts like it wants to do one thing and then does another. GFAI was identified by one of the members in the coaching room. This is, of course, a stock that's been on our radar multiple times. At the beginning of the session, it did have a sharp move up, but as you can see, very volatile, not a very good trend. But if you timed it right, there were some good choppy moves up, and it did hit the target that I mentioned in the room that it probably could get to, which was around 749, if I remember correctly. So it did get to there, but then that was it. All right, next up we've got Mara. Now, unlike Riot, which of course is a blockchain company, Mara was not able to reach its target number one. Target number one was 1739. Mara topped out at 1734. So that was that, right? So that was one of the earlier ones we identified in addition to Riot, but eventually Riot took over and Coinbase did the same thing, was not quite able to reach his target number one. It topped out at 102.59, but target number one was 103.13. So at the start of the day, a lot of the crypto stocks were moving. We noticed that right away, but some of them did not get to their targets, at least their primary targets. Now, pre-market today, let's see, we do have a larger list today than we've had over the last couple of days, so let's see what's moving pre-market today. First up, I see, is this a NASDAQ stock? Hold on for a second, I don't know if this is a NASDAQ stock. It's not. Okay, that's not a NASDAQ stock. All right, so that'll be second up. I've got GRRR. Let's take a look. All right, GRRR is trading up 13.26% on 2.3 million shares, trading above $2 a share. Of course, it's a NASDAQ stock, so that definitely qualifies for our criteria. We'll add that to our pre-market watch list, GRRR. Next up, we've got Nikola, which is probably not moving enough pre-market. Let me see. No, it's not. Only up 2.46%. We'll keep an eye on Nikola after the open, but we're not going to put that on the pre-market list because it's not moving enough for me to want to do that. All right, next up, I will look at PACW. Holy cow, what a move. I don't know. Did you see this? Yes, I didn't see this yesterday. Wow. Let's read up on that. Let's see what happened yesterday. All right, so Bank of California confirms plan to buy the bank. Yep, okay. Um, so why did it go down first? Let's see. This wasn't earnings. Hmm. Unless they reported earnings in the middle of the day. Um, let's see. Oh, Bank of California and PacWest announced. Okay, a merger. Okay, I get it. All right, so looks like the merger news was the main culprit for this behavior. Price targets were reduced, but that makes sense. The merger says that I guess okay. There seems to be a debate here amongst analysts. Wedbush moved their price target to $10 from 8, but it looks like there are some considerations there about the value of the company. I don't know. So whatever the case may be, the volatility here seems to be due to the merger news. It's up 28.61% from where it closed yesterday. Since this is merger news, I don't think this is going to move much at all. So I will put that on the radar, but don't expect there to be much movement in this stock. I might be surprised, and if I am, great. But since it did move a lot yesterday, it had some volatility. Maybe it will today, but it looks like that merger is going to keep the volatility contained. But also, folks, this does remind us that the banking crisis is still real. I do know that a lot of people have kind of forgot about the situation that we found ourselves in earlier this year, but that situation has not resolved. It's still here. As long as the Fed still is raising rates, which they may do today, that's the expectation. That still puts more pressure on banks. Bond prices have to adjust. Securities prices, treasuries have to adjust to increases in interest rates. So, and they have to adjust downward. So it means that the assets that these banks are holding get written down some more. So they're holding large losses on paper, which would be resolved at maturity of those bonds. But if someone needs to withdraw large amounts of money or wants to withdraw large amounts of money, then they have to liquidate at a loss, and therefore there's the problem. So there is still a lot of up in the air there. So PACW, since it's moving around, that probably will influence Zion and other companies as well. All right, going on. SIMO. That stock, as you can see here, is currently up 81.61%. That looks like merger. That looks like a merger. So let's see. Um, or a buyout. Sorry. Let's see. Okay, following the report that China approved approval of the company's Max Linear merger. Yes, that's a merger. So it's up because apparently China, a report that says that China is going to approve their merger. Whatever the case may be, this one's worth watching because it says a report doesn't confirm it. So we'll be watching that at the open and during the first part of the session to see what the opinion is based on which way the stock goes. All right, next up we have um, looks like Tilray, TLRY. This is a stock I haven't thought about in a long time. 18.5, 18.45, let's say 19% up, 10.4 million shares, trading over $2, clearly active. Um, Looks like this is based on earnings. So we'll go ahead and take a look at this today. TLRY is the symbol. Tilray. I'm sure most of you are familiar with this company. This was the stock that had the biggest increase that I recall of all the cannabis stocks when they first launched. WRNT. This one is currently trading up 26.74% on 3.5 million shares. So that one definitely qualifies. So we will add that to our pre-market list. And then last up, we've got, actually, no, that's it. That's the last one. So if you folks see any other stocks that meet our criteria, do have to wrap up here in a minute. So if you see any other stocks that are moving at least a gain of 6% or a loss of 6% or greater, we need to see stocks that are trading at least 1 million shares in the current pre-market session. We also have to have, of course, a NASDAQ stock, and we want the price to be at least $1 per share. So TSEM is mentioned by Darren. Let's take a look at that. That does qualify, just over 1 million shares traded, just under 11%. And this is a stock that obviously is in the right price range. Of course, it is a NASDAQ stock. So we will go ahead and add that to our radar. TSEM. Thank you. Any other stocks, folks, that meet the criteria, let me know in the chat. Google? Is it moving that much? Aha, it is. So what's the story here? Um, Obviously, it's not a buyout. Let's see. Credit Suisse maintains outperform, raises price target to 151. Okay. Good spot there, Google. Okay. Lots of upgrades on Google this morning. Thank you, Bill. So we'll add Google to our radar as well. You could also do Goog, but I always do Google. Um, all right, folks, I do have to wrap up here. So any other stocks, let me know really quick here. We'll take a quick look. Be sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Our subscriber base is growing rapidly. The more people who subscribe, the more likes we get to the channel, the faster the growth is, the more people who can take advantage of the information that we're sharing, and of course, learn more about getting funded. So again, be sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Also, Dish, I'll take a look at really quick here. Also, if you're not familiar with our program, our company, be sure to check out our website, fundertrading.com, where you'll learn more about how we fund the traders for stocks and options trading. You'll see a link in the description to this video. Dish is at 8.55%. That's fine. We're just at the cusp of the volume, so I'll leave that off the list for now since it doesn't look like it's increasing in volume enough. However, Dan, we will be seeing this on our regular list anyway. It's already here, so we won't miss it either way. Okay, so no worries there. But we'll keep an eye on Dish at the open, of course. Soundhound, under the volume requirement there because we need this to be at least 1 million shares. So if it ever gets close to that, then of course we'll look at it for today. But if it starts to move up either way, we'll still find it. All right, folks, but thank you for the suggestions. We'll wrap up for now. See everyone tomorrow for the Premarket Pulse. And for everyone who's in the coaching program, I'll see you in about 14 minutes, okay? All right, folks, take care. See you tomorrow. Bye.